There's a lot of pressure on the OKC Thunder this season as they currently hold the best record in the NBA and are looked to be the favorites in many people's book to win the 2025 NBA championship. After their struggles in the playoffs last year, though, many people might not believe OKC has what it takes to win the Western Conference, never mind winning the NBA championship this season. Well, unless we see an unexpected change to their game plan come playoff time, they should be in good shape, as OKC seems like they've corrected their mistakes from last year's playoffs. And I want to break down film today and show why this year's Thunder team might actually have what it takes to win it all. So the two standout things that have made OKC so great this year has been the play they've gotten out of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who very well might be crowned the 2025 NBA MVP, but also their improved defense opposed to last year's defense that we saw from OKC. Last year, OKC had the fourth best defense in the league at 111 per game, whereas now they have the best defensive rating in the league at 106 per game, which of course is a decent amount lower than last year's and very impressive. As we get into film now though, I want to talk about why their defense actually really factored into their second round loss against the Mavs from last year, as many of you might know. Two of the biggest issues that they had was that they just weren't clean with their switches on a number of plays versus Mavericks players, and Josh Giddey, who of course isn't on the team anymore, was someone who struggled a lot defensively. This play is from Game 2 of their series versus the Mavs last season, and PJ Washington screens for Kyrie. The Thunder are not clean with their switch, which opens up the roll. Chet Holmgren helps, and OKC works the sink, and that leaves Luka Doncic wide open on the weak side. Their decision to play drop coverage often, most specifically against Luka in that second round series, hurt them a lot as well. And now, though, the additions of Caruso and Hartenstein have actually changed a lot of that and their defensive issues from last year's playoffs. On this play right here, Hartenstein calls for the switch once Caruso gets hit. Caruso immediately comes over to take the matchup back. Jalen Williams rotates and Hartenstein recovers. Isaiah Joe sees the flash, tries to steal and takes the matchup. Hartenstein helps on the drive and is able to stop VanVleet. Their recovery on defense here is great too, as OKC was switching Hartenstein in pick and roll versus Jalen Brown in this game. And OKC's activity and flying around here to recover on defense shows an example of what has made them so lethal this season defensively. This play here once again shows off Hartenstein and the team in general's ability to be great on switches, as OKC counters the screen by having Williams switch from Jalen Brown to Derek White. White gets another screen, this time from Horford, and Hartenstein switches to prevent a three-pointer from White. Even when it's not Hartenstein, but in this case Holmgren, he proves that he's great at switching just like Hartenstein is. Holmgren is at the level when Tatum comes off the screen, and there's a rotate to Horford popping, but Holmgren recovers, and there's the switch and help on the drive. Speaking of Hartenstein though, on the offensive end, he actually helps the Thunder against switches against them from their opponents. The Celtics handle the cuts at first, and they switch Pritchard onto Chet, and Horford kicks him out. Now it's a pick and roll with Hartenstein, and he gets the roll and the foul. Hartenstein has been a great hub player for the Thunder, and he gets used to open up movement for them. Here he provides the screen for Dieng and gets the pass from him. Then Dieng goes to the split with Holmgren. Good slip from Dieng here, and then he's able to get the great pass for the bucket. You can also see the movement that the Thunder are able to get with Hartenstein as a hub here, and there's just a high split for the layup for OKC. And right here, using Isaiah Hartenstein as a hub player is really just able to get them more cutting and movement offensively, and his passing has really helped their half-court offense this season. Pick and roll chemistry between Shai and Isaiah Hartenstein has been key for the Thunder this season, especially during the stretch where they had Chet Holmgren out with an injury. Here Jokic is back, Brown tries to go under, the drive holds the defense, and Hartenstein catches on the short roll and goes with the floater for the bucket. The two-man game of both of them has continued to grow throughout the season. There's a nice shift, then a backdoor cut from Shai here, and a very nice pass from Hartenstein for an easy bucket. I do still have to mention that the Thunder still have defensive mistakes from time to time. OKC's biggest problems is when they don't avoid rotating and when OKC's defenders don't force their opponents to keep the ball in front of them. The Thunder switch Holmgren onto Brown here, which is great, and their switching isn't the issue, it's their rotating sometimes, like I said. And that's why in this game specifically, since OKC was making those mistakes, Boston should have been doing a better job of attacking the paint. And they did a good job of that here to draw defenders to the paint while they have 4 guys outside behind the arc. But 4 OKC defenders are in Holiday's vicinity with 3 guys all focused on defending him. So Holiday is able to slip the pass to the wide open Tatum for 3. And in their other game versus Boston this season, they did do a great job of keeping the ball in front of them on plays like these, and it worked out perfectly for them. So they do need to do more of that, especially when they're facing top teams in the league from April to potentially June. One of their other big mistakes this season has just really been not knowing when to take a smaller defender off of a big man and just when it's not working, and they did that a lot last season also. Here, OKC this season had Caruso on Jokic during this stretch, and Denver has Jokic screened, and this could have actually went wrong and ended up as a steal, and Caruso almost gets it, but it ends up as 2 easy points for Jokic. On this play, Jokic screens for Westbrook, the Thunder switch, Caruso shows help, and Westbrook flies by, and there's a pass right to Westbrook on a cut, and it ends with a Denver bucket. And here, Caruso fights and even falls trying to guard Jokic. But once he gets the pass from Brown, Jokic goes right up for the shot and hits it. They also do need to be better with just not giving up too much help defense when in zone, as they got lucky that this was a miss here, but defensively it was very poor. Horford screens for Tatum, and watch all of the help defense shown to Tatum while they are in it. Literally every OKC defender is focused on Tatum while you got 3 players open outside and Holiday camped under the basket. Tatum kicks to Holiday, Holiday finds the wide open Horford, and OKC's lucky that Horford missed this despite Wallace's contest, which was way too late. And of course, while this video is about why OKC has played so good this season, I do want to mention, while we're on the topic of their flaws, just one of those things that's really stuck with me, and that's the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been so great for them and might even be 2025 MVP, but there's a lot of times where he hasn't been able to make opponents pay. This might just be one play, and I will say Horford is a great defender, but he's also 38 years old and somebody that Shai should have no issue with. The Celtics have Horford on Wallace here, and OKC uses Wallace as a screener. The Celtics give the switch, and Horford works to contain and contest with the nail help from Drew. OKC's answer for countering the doubles given against Shai was just simply about getting 3-point shots, as right here Minnesota went to zone defense and they had been making it a key of mixing in doubles versus Shai and showing help. They worked to rotate, and OKC was looking for the catch and shoot shots here on this play. And sadly, this was a miss. Here Denver threw doubles at Shai too. OKC countered with cutting and ball movement. This was generally great ball movement and a great back and forth from both Wiggins and Wallace. And despite these being misses, I like these plays here from OKC and the designs for Shai. These just gotta be makes going forward. Shai gets a great screen from Joe, then another from Williams, and he wants to attack Horford and put Horford in action while Horford's at the power forward spot and Kornet is manning the paint. Wiggins slid in from the outside of the paint behind Kornet, and Shai sees him outside as he passes to him, and this was a great look, but unfortunately a miss like I said. Here Williams gives Shai the screen, and there's a great cut to engage both big men, then step back, and Shai has to make shots like this. And in terms of good execution, just an unlucky break from OKC. You can see it here again in terms of OKC's defense. Boston uses Jason Tatum as a screener for Pritchard here. They get OKC to switch Shai on Tatum, and there's the hold off for a catch, and there's good rotation from OKC, but sadly a foul is drawn by Tatum. Another area OKC is so deadly in offensively is when Shai is involved with screens, whether he's the one receiving them or giving them out to an opponent. The Thunder use Shai here as a screener to counter the Pistons switching and as a way to get him the matchup that the Thunder want. And what's incredible is the defense is very solid, but Shai is so deadly and goes to work here. Then right here, Tatum wants the Shai matchup in transition, but Isaiah Joe is used as a screener for Shai to force Pritchard onto Shai, and that leads to the opportunity for Shai to go right to his great mid-range game. And even here, notice how effective it is when OKC goes to a guard-guard pick and roll and makes it a stack pick and roll with Shai handling the ball. Wiggins screens for Shai and the Celtics switch. Joe goes from the free throw line to the left side wing, and 2 players go with him. Shai hits Wiggins, who cuts the paint and drew the defense in, and Wiggins gets the ball to Dort for 3. I do really enjoy watching Shai in the mid-range and the low post, and even against a big like Mobley on this play, because in most cases it's so deadly and it could be an easy 2 points for OKC. And I think another thing I want to mention before this video is over is just how the little things from OKC are so huge for them. Holmgren comes from the corner to set for the screen for Shai. Caruso is spaced in the corner but slides the dunker spot, and the defense helps, but there's a dump off to Caruso for the layup. And while Holmgren's struggles against Derek Lively in last year's playoffs still linger in the back of my mind, it's great sequences like this one from him against Jokic that gives you hope that OKC might be able to finish their quest for the franchise's first title this season. I think overall OKC has corrected a lot of their mistakes that they made in their playoff series against the Mavericks last postseason, but it's still clear that they have some imperfections that I'd like to see them fix before the playoffs start this season, so I wanted to show off what they were, which were for the most part their issues with switching on certain occasions, keeping the ball in front of them when they're on defense, and really just the problem of missing easy looks offensively after great execution of a play. OKC certainly has a chance to win it all this year, but I think it's going to come down to their team really just being on a togetherness defensively in the playoffs, and also for Chet Holmgren to step up come playoff time. Thanks to their improved defense with Caruso and Hartenstein playing a big part in that, and just the fact that Hartenstein can come in and provide physicality down low if Holmgren is ever struggling, I think their chances are much better than they were last postseason. I want to know what you guys think though in the comments about the OKC Thunder, any of their players, or anything relating to the NBA down below. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, as it helps me out a lot. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.